TJ gave us a project. What's it on again?
I think biodiesel.
Let's go do some research.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, like, I'm not gonna get them.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember correctly, it's plants.
Something in the ground, I guess. Maybe like dinosaur bones.
No, not really.
Farmed algae that's turned into ethanol.
Cars. Use it on cars.
Trucks.
I think they're trying to make cars that run on it.
Okay, I don't want to be in it.
Cat. She's stressing out.
Factories.
Power. Any energy source, maybe.
I guess like reducing pollution.
I assume it'd probably release less contaminated gases.
It's a lot better than gasoline. It's a lot more environmentally friendly. It's easier to make since it's made from plants. You can grow it naturally. You don't run out as fast.
No.
Is it anything like fracking?
It's better than fracking.
Well, is it like probably?
Isn't it more expensive?
I think it is, but it's also new industry. It's just like, creates jobs anytime. Like, they need algae farmers, so that's going to be affected.
It's a lot more expensive to make.
More easily obtained.
I guess it could be like better because instead of fossil fuels, like it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like it's probably burning more healthier, like environmental friendly things.
If it's good, I hope that it works well.
Cheaper. Is it? It's cheaper to make. Is it cheaper? I mean, I don't know. It just, it's just one of those like weird buttons on the side where it's just like the handles a corn on the top.
I mean, I've never. What?
Holding a potentially high energetic capacity, biodiesel provides a non-toxic and environmentally conscious alternative to fossil fuel dependency. Thus decreasing energy dependency, biodiesel may provide economic stabilization and security to countries with low fuel deposits. Presently, large-scale biodiesel production includes starch-based materials such as corn, found in North America, and sucrose-based materials such as sugarcane, found in South America. Unfortunately, starch and sucrose-based biofuels, as well as other vegetable oils, compete with food crops and incur extremely high production costs. In order to feasibly produce and consume biodiesel, research investigate the utility of high lipid containing aquatic plants and waste cooking oils. While the normal production cost of biodiesel from wetland plants is high, the twofold use as a wastewater purification system drastically lowers this expense. Wastewater provides nutrients while also making use of unused land area. However, the biological safety of this type of wastewater treatment is impractical. The most abundant and often nearby biodiesel source in America is waste frying oil, which is often illegally dumped into landfills. This fuel source, alternatively recycled from old frying oil, does not compete with food production, nor does it contain a biological safety risk. Overall, waste frying oil is a cheap and highly abundant biofuel source created locally from a source not generally reused.
The second material we looked at was waste cooking oil. This has been used more recently to reduce the cost of raw materials in the process, along with solving the issue of disposing of waste cooking oil. This waste oil is also more favorable than petroleum-based diesel fuel due to the fact that the products of combustion are less harmful to the environment. Unfortunately, waste cooking oil not only requires a chemical process to refine it, it also must undergo other separation and purification processes, which require multiple reaction vessels, making the process quite extensive. One factor that helps with controlling the cost is the fact that the raw oil is relatively inexpensive since it is just a waste product from another industry. The overall production process is more expensive when compared to a process simply using virgin oil or rapeseed oil. However, the byproduct from this process is of higher quality, being more pure top-grade glycerin. The first method we looked at was direct use, which is basically what it sounds like. The raw oil, whether it be waste oil, virgin oil, or rapeseed oil, is added to the engine as fuel to burn. To achieve a combustion similar to that of petroleum-based fuel, the raw oil is typically mixed with a petroleum-based diesel fuel. This mixing is also beneficial to the engine since it lowers the viscosity of the fuel, which prevents buildup and gelling within the engine, causing it to run more efficiently. This method is relatively inexpensive when compared to others since it requires no chemical processes to produce the final products. Pyrolysis or thermal cracking relies on heat to break bonds in larger hydrocarbon chains rather than the reaction with an alcohol. This method is a solution to the issues of incomplete combustion and buildup that can occur with the direct use method since the hydrocarbon chains that are formed are much shorter. Unfortunately, the process can be very unpredictable due to the multiple different paths the reaction can take. In order to help with this, catalysts are often introduced to guide the reaction and control product formation. This process forms solid, liquid, and gaseous products. However, the main source of biodiesel comes from the liquid bio-oils that are formed. We found that when used in combination with catalysts such as silicon dioxide or aluminum oxide, the products had very similar characteristics to that of pure fossil fuels. Higher reaction temperatures also show to have significant impact, making the products have a high combustion potential and overall greater efficiencies.
Another method to produce biodiesel is by a process called transesterification, which is a catalyzed reaction of fatty acids with alcohols to produce esters. When these fatty acids react with an alcohol, especially smaller alcohols such as methanol, the fatty acid chains are released and combine with the alcohol to yield esters. There are three methods of catalyzing a transesterification reaction: alkali catalyzed, acid catalyzed, and enzyme catalyzed. Last method is fairly impractical as it requires a substantially longer reaction time. And transesterification reactions stoichiometrically require a 3-to-1 ratio of alcohol to triglyceride, but often use an excess of alcohol to shift equilibrium towards the products. Anhydrous reactants should be used in order to inhibit water's negative effect on the catalyst. The presence of water may cause saponification, which is the formation of soaps within the solution, and these presence of soaps interferes with the catalyst as well as may result in emulsion formation. Transesterification reaction involves a series of reversible reactions with the breaking down of triglycerides into diglycerides and into monoglycerides and finally glycerol. The mechanism is a 3-step process. First step is the attack on the carbonyl carbon with the alkoxide ion from methanol. The reaction intermediate then reacts with an alcohol in an acid-base reaction, resulting in the formation of an alkoxide ion. The intermediate then rearranges itself to yield the final ester product. Rapeseed oil is a valuable alternative and is the most popular biofuel in Europe. Using rapeseed oil combined with pure anhydrous methanol, biodiesel with a methanol content of 96.5% to 99% can be achieved. In addition, rapeseed oil and methanol are fairly inexpensive, and leftover glycerol can be used in other industries such as the pharmaceutical and cosmetics industries. The reversibility of the transesterification reaction makes it an incredibly convenient way to produce biodiesel. As far as the three methods of transesterification go, alkali catalyzed, acid catalyzed, and enzyme catalyzed, only the first two are really used. But even with that, alkali catalyzed transesterification results in a yield of 90-98% oil conversion in the span of 90 minutes, whereas acid catalyzed will produce 90% oil, but takes about 69 hours to convert, and also requires a 50-to-1 ratio of alcohol to oil, which makes it much more inefficient.
When comparing the multiple ways used to produce biodiesel, there is a clearly superior process, transesterification. Direct use has been known to produce a very high viscous product, which causes engines to choke and stop working. A possible solution to this problem is to blend vegetable oils and petroleum-based diesel fuels with extremely viscous biodiesel produced to reduce the likelihood of engine problems and increase fuel performance. However, this solution still requires the use of petroleum. The second process, thermal cracking, is one that requires a large amount of energy to produce usable biodiesel. This large heat requirement makes this process much more expensive than the others and also has an unpredictable nature that could be dangerous. Transesterification is definitely the better out of the three of these methods because it not only is less expensive, produces a superior product, and it is predictable to control, but also gives higher yields of biodiesel as well. The two starting materials used to produce biodiesel each have their own respective advantages. Rapeseed oil has an incredibly high conversion to fuel and has a very simple production process, while waste cooking oil is marginally less expensive. However, even though waste cooking oil is a much more economically favorable starting material, the cost needed to produce biodiesel from it is both incredibly large, complicated, and expensive compared to that of rapeseed oil, making this particular raw material the best option out of the two from an economic standpoint. Rapeseed oil refineries require less machinery and maintenance while still producing roughly the same amount of biodiesel. This refinery cost makes up for rapeseed oil's high raw material value and places it ahead of waste cooking oil. The only way waste cooking oil refineries can be considered better than those of rapeseed oil is if one were to look at them from an environmental standpoint. While both processes are miles ahead of environmentally harmful petroleum production, waste cooking oil reduces the majority of the waste it produces to create even more usable biodiesel.